started in 1 minute, probably less than 1 minute. It's 1:20 now. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending the Using Title III to Sustain Programs and Implement Projects session. My name is Jerome Fitz, and I will be moderating this session. Our speaker, Dr. Akins, will present for 30 to 35 minutes, and we'll have a Q&A session for 10 minutes before we end. We have to end the session promptly at 2:05 p.m. If the presenter is not able to answer all of your questions, please contact the presenter directly at the email address listed on either their last slide or contact the Office of University of Assessment by email. As a friendly reminder, this session is being recorded, and when you registered for the conference, you provided consent for recording. If you would prefer that your likeness not be published, please feel free to turn off your camera. From here, I will turn it over to the presenter, Dr. Akins, for instructions and his presentation. Thank you. Enjoy.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am so glad to be here and was given the opportunity to present. Okay. As he indicated, we have a length of time that we're supposed to do this, but being who I am, and my band director was Dr. Isaac Griggs, and he used to always tell us we practice for results, not hours. So I intend to enlighten you and to give you information that will help us move in the right direction as far as utilizing sustainability. And again, the entitlement of it is using Title III to sustain programs and implement projects. One of the things that I want to discuss as far as to cover, and this is my agenda, as far as the learning outcomes, what is Title III, and we talk about why is sustainability, purpose of sustainability, and the benefits of sustainability, and the one that I love the most, revenue diversification. It is my attempt, and it has always been my attempt to have people learn the importance of external funding, understand how revenue diversification can be a tool to support sustainability, and understand what role you can play in sustaining services, programs, and activities to support our students. Because one of the primary things that's going on is when we look at sustainability, how you sustain programs is to bring in dollars. And if we're not bringing in external dollars to support it based on limited institutional dollars, then we're not doing or justifying sustainability of programs. One of the things, many of you on here already know what Title III is because some of my staff are on this session as well. The funding that we receive as an institution is under the Title III grants. It's historically Black colleges and universities, which falls under the HBCU. We have fostering undergraduate talent by unlocking resources for Education Act, that's the Future Act, and we have historically Black graduate institutions, the HBGI. Last year, those three grants totaled about $20 million that the institutions receive from the U.S. Department of Education. Under the HBCU and Future, we talk about Title is authorized to strengthen HBCUs, eligible institutions to assist them in strengthening their academic, administrative, and fiscal capabilities. These programs are typically funded through annual discretionary appropriation and with additional annual mandatory appropriations provided through the Future Act, which was extended mandatory funding beyond the fiscal year 2019. Again, these are the dollars that we have to administer. The other one is the HBGI. The HBGI primarily deals with the graduate program. This is strengthening historically Black graduate institutions. And we have a number of programs that's funded. We have about 8 activities that's funded under the HBGI, but provides grants to assist institutions in establishing and strengthening their physical plant, development office, endowment funds, academic resources, student services, so they may continue to participate in fulfilling the goals of the quality educational opportunities in graduate education, subject to the availability of funds. Again, the funds that we try and utilize, an example is what we do in architect. We're trying to increase the number of Black architects that exist. So that is an ideal program, because as Dean Chin would present and indicate to everyone, we have less than 4% Black architects in the United States. So this program, or the funding for the architect program, is ideal. And the same holds true for the doctoral program in engineering. We have less than so many Black engineers that exist out there. So the program are there to help and assist the number of Black engineers get their doctorate degree. Why sustainability? It's not because I say so, because it's the right thing to do to help sustain our programs that we provide at the university. And you also have to understand, we have excellent programs that exist at the university. And in order to sustain those successful programs, we have to be able to bring in the resources to continue those programs through the years. This is the what if. If Title III was not here, what would we do to continue those services? So we need to work now in that effort of bringing in additional dollars to sustain what we're doing and increase what we're doing, because the ranking that we have is a target for other individuals that want to come to FAMU, because parents want to send them to a great institution that's highly successful with the students that's attending and the graduates that graduate from the institution, because they are doing extremely well within the community. And when we look at engaging the audience to support your efforts, sustainability can be supported by data. This is why I like our institutional research area, because they have all the data that we need and to do the things that we need to do to bring in those dollars. When you look at the data and the statistics on the students that's attending and their progress towards earning their degree, and with the data that demonstrates program efficiencies, effectiveness, community advocacy, funding diversification, collaborative partnerships that can maximize resources, the capture of general savings, and attraction of new investments. It's easy to get money when you have money. So again, we look at Title III as a tool to help activities generate and bring in additional dollars, because the dollars on the table is indicating to a funder that you have skin in the game. And if you have money on the table, they'll be more than willing to support what you're doing based on what you have. When you look at sustainability, exists to help organizations minimize negative impact by securing external resources to improve an organization's economic stability. When you look at FAMU is also a corporation. When you look at the things that we're able to provide, when you look at, if we're talking about community development, we have an architect, School of Architect, we have a construction engineer, we have SBI business, it's right, being able to write business plans for any type of small business. So we have everything capable of being a corporation to do any type of development within the community. And effective, sustainable programs will benefit institutions of higher learning that allow financial stability, allowing internal and external stakeholders to view the organizations positively. Because when I came to FAMU, one of the things that was real positive about it was it's $100 million in this in funds that they had in their, not in their endowment, but excess funds that they had that was held by the foundation. Many public HBCUs do not have that level of dollars available to them, and that's something that's a feather in our cap as far as resources that we have. And then when you look at the annual fundraising that has occurred over the last 5 years, they've done extremely well in bringing in the dollars. And sustainability will and can improve internal stakeholders, preserve resources, and increase funding levels. If we have a culture of sustainability and it's across the board at the university, is very successful. It can be very successful in the university, generating additional dollars that we're receiving, and also being able to support the things that's going on. And a good example is what we did this year is we increased the support for the STEM Week by allocating additional dollars to expand the STEM, because we did have a good number of students participating this year, and it was very successful. One of the other things that we're doing is we're looking at expanding the summer camps. Because the pandemic is no longer here, we're able to expand the summer camps as far as exposing middle and high school students to the university and the programs that we get to offer. So that's extremely important in the things that we need to do as far as creating that sustainability and also using the Title III dollars for that type of support. And as we move on for the purpose of sustainability, the financial sustainability of grant-funded programs and other programs with limited sources depend on creating and maintaining diversified revenue sources. I'm going to always say revenue diversification is extremely important. My research was on revenue diversification because one of the things, and if you look at my slide, you see the trees there on the side. That's part of sustainability. When you cut down a tree, you need to plant 2 more trees so we're not losing. We're able to multiply. So it's 1 for 2. If I cut down 2, I'm going to plant 4 more. So that's to maintain the trees and not have a loss in the trees based on actions that's taken by the institution or an organization. So that's what we look at as far as diversifying the revenue streams. The trees are the revenue streams and what we need to increase in bringing in those dollars. Also, it supports the university's plan to achieve Carnegie Tier 1 level as a research institution. We need to bring in more dollars to support what we're doing and benefit the students that's attending the institution as a whole. It is essential to understand that grants are only one of the sources of funding for institutions of higher learning, and we must engage in ongoing development efforts and sustain programs that impact performance. And when we say grants, we're looking at federal funding, also looking at foundations, but we also need to look at corporate foundations as well, supporting many of the things that we're doing within the community and the impact of the university on that. Okay, and what are the benefits of good sustainability programs? A solid sustainability program will improve an institution such as FAMU's university's reputation. I said improve it because FAMU already has a positive reputation within the community and nationwide. Because a good example, I know a lot of engineers from Southern University, but they're always bragging and talking about the FAMU engineering program. And when the FAMU engineers come to the football game and they donate those big checks for $150,000, they see that as well as far as the engineers giving back to FAMU. And it'll be able to, again, track students and ultimately increase the revenue, all while ensuring responsible use of resources. This can be done in a few ways, but here are some key areas where institutions with excellent sustainability programs have seen benefits. You get increased external funding, attract high quality students, improve customer loyalty, become industry leaders in higher education, and among HBCUs, we are that. Stay ahead of legislation that impact higher education, and we try and do that as well because we do work with our advocates, which is United Negro College Fund and Thurgood Marshall and NAFIO as part of it, and then we have other advocates that work with us as well. And revenue diversification is and it's often the most significant opportunity for universities to grow income. In a nutshell, generate more revenue to drive existing and innovative agendas. Again, it didn't take me long to do this, but if you have any questions at this time, I'd be willing to discuss, and I will show you the Title III activity and what and the activities and what they do for the university and for Title III. And so do we have any questions? All right.
Dr. Akins, you did such a good job of presenting. Seem like questions are slow to come in. We have a question now. What are some ideas you can share to help with an opportunity to increase funding? And that's from Glover.
I figure it would be from her. I would suggest that individuals in different departments need to sign up under grants.gov so they can get daily email on what grant opportunities are available. So they can start looking at what federal agency they wish to target to bring in dollars. Because a good example is when we were at the HBCU week last year, USAID wanted FAMU to go to attend their reception, and they were talking about a study abroad. And the primary thing they were indicating to us is that, oh, we have plenty of funding for study abroad. We want to partner more with HBCUs to engage in study abroad programs. Ms. Glover, she took it upon herself to contact 2 of our activities to engage them in taking USAID up on this offer of working with HBCUs in the study abroad program. It's also being able to look at foundations that could possibly support a particular activity or program on campus, start friend raising with them as far as developing that relationship with those foundations to help bring in and secure the dollars that's needed based on what we need to do for our students. And I know she has another question.
Do you still offer sessions that assist individuals with finding additional funding/grants?
I do. I've met with individuals one-on-one in my office, and I've worked with ODT to provide some grant writing training for them as well. And I'm always willing to do that because this is the new time and we need to take advantage of it, because every time we go to HBCU Week, the federal agencies that's there, from the Department of Defense to NASA, you name it, they're saying, we want to work with HBCUs. We want to start funding the dollars that we currently have, that we have to bid out. We want to fund and work with HBCUs. And I want HBCUs, specifically FAMU, to take advantage of this situation where we can generate that. And I'll give you an example. When I went to a meeting with the Department of Ed, they were talking about the MISIP grant, and they were saying it's going to be released. And I knew that Dr. Matthews' area under criminal justice was talking about a forensic lab. So I came back and shared the information with them about the forensic lab, and I worked with them in the development and submission of a proposal for the MISIP dollars to implement a forensic lab in the area of criminal justice, working in partnership with the chemistry department for our students. Because of CSI, you have many students that want to be a forensic scientist. That's what they think they want to be, but they want to go into forensic science. So we're in the process of setting up 2 labs, one in chemistry to support forensic lab, and the criminal justice end to be the soft end of the forensic lab they want to work with. But it's because of the talk that occurs with the different areas that allows me to look at what we need to do. But I've sat down with them to work with what they need to do on the elements of the proposal and the submission of it. It's not my specific job, but it's my other duties as assigned to help us bring in more dollars.
Do we have any additional questions? We have plenty of time.
See, Jerome, when you put me on that short timeline, that's when I said I got to do what I need to do quickly and efficiently.
Well, you did both, and the timeline was not my timeline, trust me. It was assessments timeline. Do we have any additional questions for Dr. Akins?
And one of the questions that you should be asking, what is it that I can do to help bring in additional dollars to help the university? That means you need to learn what is necessary and what's required to submit proposals for funding to bring in these dollars. And the other question would be, if I want to receive additional training and your time doesn't permit, will you allow me, or would the university be able to support participating and attending any type of grant writing or development training that I may need to be successful in this area? And I would say most definitely the university can support that. And that's part of professional development of where we need to go.
Crystal Bryant, can Dr. Akins share some of the Title III activities currently on campus?
Yes, I can. Okay. Like in, okay. Hold on. Okay. These are the programs that we're currently funding. Under HBCU, we have Academic Success Institute, Enhancing Undergraduate Student Success, Engineering Learning Community, and I did just attend their presentation on Wednesday of the students in engineering that was working with different companies on research projects. And then we have the online education and distance learning. And some person named Fitz on there, you know. And she's done quite well in expanding what we're doing in online education because I can say FAMU was instrumental in doing online education before online education was really acceptable by the university. And we've expanded the number of online education programs as a result of that initial investment. And then we also have an honors program. When I came on board, I was having conversations with Dolores Glover about why is it that our honors program is not as big as it should be, considering that we're the #1 public HBCU. So we did expand what we were doing with the honors program. The other aspect of the honors program that they need to expand on is getting scholarship dollars to support honors students getting scholarships once they're in the honors program. So that's one of the other areas that we'll be working on is bringing in more scholarships dollars for that particular area. And then we have the academic support library. That's part of the accreditation process as well, because one of the primary things that they will look at is the library and the services that's provided to students through the library, because they do purchase a number of databases that students can access remotely for them to do their research for the courses. We have our teachers education and certification program. That program will be going to Los Angeles to do a presentation about what they're doing for the university. And one of the other areas is strengthening institutional effectiveness, and that is institutional research. We fund them because assessment and what we do in research is extremely important. And I've always maintained a good working relationship with institutional research, because even in my previous job, I had a good working relationship with them as well, because data the Title III is a data driven, and the data that we need to turn in reports and everything is crucial that we have that good working relationship. And then we work with Dr. Friday Strauss in institutional development and capacity building. And then we have our international studies as well. And enhancing financial literacy, that's extremely important too, because we work with students when they get here to make sure that they do not default on any loans, so we can have a low default rate, because universities are held to that, and they look at the default rate based on when they're rating institutions of higher learning. So the enhancement to financial literacy is done well in maintaining a low default rate on the part of our students. And organizational development and training, they provide the professional development for staff. And one area, the other area is technical infrastructure, technology infrastructure, that's our IT. That's always an ongoing area on campus, because technology is constantly changing and it's needing upgrade all the time. Elementary and secondary education outreach, Alicia Houston was the one responsible for working with the STEM week, and she's also the one that works with the summer camps for the kids that's coming on campus so they can be exposed to FAMU and college life. And we have the developing undergraduate research programs, and Dr. Artley did the 2024 undergraduate research symposium, where they had over 60 students attending the university do poster board presentations on the research that they were conducting. And it was an excellent job on the part of those students. and are fostering undergraduate talent by unlocking resources for education. We have basically the 5 programs. We have nursing, we have STEM student success, and that's under science and technology. We have Brooksville training, that's Dr. Comey. Academic technology, that's Dr. Fitz. And we have interdisciplinary health science initiative, and that's Dr. Simmons. And before we started this session, I received the email from the Department of Education. We're in the process of developing a new 5-year comprehensive development plan for the historically Black graduate institutions for the next 5 years, going to 2029. And under those current programs, we fund pharmacy and the engineering under Dr. Moore, the PhD in engineering. Then we have the advanced graduate studies in environmental science, that's Victor Ibanez, and enhancing library resources. Again, that's the library as well under Dean Watkins. And we fund the law school as well. They receive over $500,000 in HBGI funding to support students that's attending the law school. And we have the architect program as Dean Chen. He gets a little under $200,000 from us. And then we have the enhancing the graduate programs in health. One of the things under that program, we were able to purchase the old credit union that will move some of the allied health programs in there. And it also will provide services to the community because they do a lot of hands-on treatment with community people, community residents. They need services. So the allied health program does an excellent job in that. And the credit union will be an ideal function for that as well. There's some renovation that needs to occur with that building. And what we also going to do is when they do the repairs, we're going to also install solar panels on the building as well. And I can say it will be the first building to have solar panels that's part of FAMU. And then we have enhancing graduate programs in science, that's science and technology, and they fund the biology and chemistry and the computer information systems as far as and with graduate students. And again, we can move on to strengthening academic programs in nursing. And nursing has come a long way. We have an interim dean under Dr. Garner, and they've done well. They had a high passage rate for the students that's participating or that's completed the program. And that was all contributed to what the Title III program was able to do and put on the table to support the success of that program. Those are all the programs that's funded utilizing Title III dollars.
Thank you for that information, Dr. Akins. Are there any additional questions? What are some areas you feel that Title III can support the university receiving R1 status? That's from Glover, and Crystal said, thank you for sharing that information.
My pleasure. I think if we were going to support the R1, we need to look at what are we doing to support more PhD students graduating. That's one. The other is what are we doing to bring in more dollars to help us get to that level? But it's not just getting the dollars, but it's also being able to spend the dollars in a timely manner on what we need to do. And I think sometimes FAMU has to do better in how it's spending money in a timely manner.
Any additional questions? Glover, thank you for all that you do.
Believe it or not, I'm able to do all I do because of the staff that I have. They've been very supportive. They've done things. They've introduced me to things because I'm still learning people on campus. and I'm still learning buildings on campus. Just like I didn't realize that you were my frat brother until we were in DC.
Absolutely. You have staff on this session. Can you identify who they are, even though I know who they are? But can you identify for those on the session who your staff members are?
Yes, my staff that's on here, it consists of, besides Dolores Glover, we got Leola Moore, Michael Rice, Shalia Williams.
Okay.
And I don't think they get on to hear what I'm saying. They get on here to see, make sure I don't say the wrong thing.
Thank you for that information. Are there any more questions for Dr. Akins? We have about 15 more minutes. There are no more questions. You all have a good afternoon and see you in the next sessions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Dr. Akins, this is Crystal.
Yes.
I just want to say, I didn't realize we were doing so many great things here at FAMU with Title $3. So by chance, do we have a newsletter that we're sharing to make sure we are telling everybody all these great things we're doing?
No, we don't have a newsletter, but I would like for us to at least do one, because what I've been trying to get across to the activity directors is that you need to start telling me what you're doing so we can share that information, because it's like we're in a bubble and no one knows about it. I finally got them to submit proposals to present at the workshop.
Mm-hmm.
I got 4 of them presenting, and I'm presenting as well. So we have 5 FAMU representatives that are going to be presenting at the next Title III workshop.
Okay.
So I'm pushing it. I'm telling them, you need to, if you do something, send me an article, send me something, a write-up, because the Department of Ed is even asking, give us some information on what you're doing and what programs have done so far.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we're trying to showcase it. I'm supporting it. That's what we need to do. And I tell, and I've had to talk to the provost, and I talked to Deidre, her PR person or communication person. I said, no matter what goes on in academics, Title III has a hand in it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you do is Title III.
Right. And I know some of the other units, usually when they say information, I would say, for example, when I worked in pharmacy, they always made sure that students put some kind of line on there saying that their research or something was supported by Title III funds or a
Dr.
particular
Early.
lab. Yes,
Dr. Early
yes,
made them
Dr.
do that.
Yeah, so that was a great thing. That way people know
Yes.
exactly what's, how the dollars are being used. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Any more questions before I end the meeting? Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.